Hello, good morning. My name is John Sears. I'm the Lean Coordinator for the Department of Environmental Conservation. And today I wanted to talk to you really quickly and give you an introduction on Power Automate. So Power Automate was recently renamed from Microsoft Flow. And what Power Automate is for is to automate the process of Microsoft Office products talking to one another. And it's a really powerful tool. And if you've ever found yourself wondering, oh man, it would really be great if this thing I have to do repeatedly would run on its own, or if only I could push a button and have something happen. It's really what Power Automate is about. So we're going to talk a little bit about it. There's a couple ways to get there. So the way I like to get there is if you're in any Office 365 tool, go ahead and hit the 9 dots up here. It looks like this with the little blue squares. Go ahead and click on Power Automate. You'll know you're in the right place if you see gov.flow.microsoft.us. There are actually 2 different platforms for Power Automate, which we'll be talking about in a subsequent training. Today, I just wanted to give you a really quick rundown of what Power Automate looks like and how to get started. So let's go ahead and do that. So first, you'll notice that it drops us into the home page right here. You can start by searching for templates by applications, usually the place that I want to start. Action items are for approvals. Yes, Power Automate can handle approvals. So if you're dealing with approvals, it can work with that. If you click on My Flows, it'll show you all the flows you currently have. You'll probably have none if you're totally new to this product. I've got 3. We can go right to Create. And the Create tab has a couple of ways to trigger things in Microsoft Flow. So you can have automated flows, which trigger when something happens. For example, it could be a specific email coming in or a form being submitted. You could do an instant flow, which is basically push button, have it do things, or you can schedule them. So you can schedule emails going out, you can schedule forms being sent, you can schedule Excel actions being taken, anything that touches the Office 365 suite, you can go ahead and select. All right, so we can start from here, but a better place to start if you're new is over here in templates. So you'll notice a bunch of templates, and each one of these icons represents a connector, a different aspect of Microsoft Office that the tool can touch. So for example, here are some templates for saving Office 365 email attachments to OneDrive for Business. I use this one personally. So basically when an email comes in, it will automatically take that attachment and dump it into a folder in my OneDrive. It's really convenient and make sure I don't have to keep emails around just because I am concerned about losing attachments. We'll just go ahead and run through the rest of the tabs on the left-hand side, and then we'll get into an actual flow. So the next item is connectors. So connectors are the various platforms and services that Power Automate can link to. So things like your Office 365, SharePoint lists, Microsoft Planner, Microsoft Teams, Outlook, approvals, Excel, Microsoft Project, even some external platforms. If it's on here and it doesn't say premium, you can create a link using Power Automate. I don't know how much data you have access to, but there are ways to connect to various data sources. Solutions is mainly an IT-based tool, so if you're not in IT, most of this will be totally foreign to you. But one of the advantages to using Power Automate is that we don't actually need IT for any of this. This is all point and click, and it's all totally able to be run and executed by individuals. So I mentioned when we start that I want to start on templates. So we can just go ahead and find a really, really simple template to work with. So Save Office 365 one is really, really easy. It shows you the tools. So basically you take an Office 365 Outlook email and you save the attachment. It gives a quick explanation of what the project's meant to do. It will go ahead and show you what the flows will connect to because I already have this one running. It's got little check marks here to show a valid connection. and it will, you will have to create those connections, which is just a click of a button when you're doing a fresh one. So I'm going to go ahead and create a flow, and it will drop me right in the control for that template. Now there are a bunch of options up the top here. I'm going to go ahead and turn this off because I don't want it running, because I already have it running, and if you've got two versions of it running, it will run twice. So what I'm going to do here is go ahead and hop into edit, and you'll notice that there are only two steps in this process. So one is on new email. So this describes the triggering action. So when an item comes into the inbox, and you can set additional criteria here. You could say only when an item comes into the inbox from someone specific or with certain levels of importance. The thing here that it has is only with attachments, because again, we're saving attachments onto our OneDrive. And then to each attachment in the email, so it's going to loop through each of those attachments, it's going to create a file in OneDrive that is that attachment. So it's really easy to go here with dynamic expressions, and it will let you grab anything that the previous step was able to come up with. So you can grab the person who it's from, the person who it's to, CC'd. We could grab the body of the email. So if you wanted an automatic email archiving system, it'd be really easy to do through this. And it just automatically grabs this because the first step is on new email, and it's grabbing that email information. And you can add individual steps. So if before I want to run that attachment, if I want to make sure that, say, it's of a certain size, because I'm concerned about only downloading things of a certain size, I can go ahead and check that first before having that happen. This is the create file step. So this is where it's actually creating an attachment with the file that's attached. And you can add conditions. So if it does have an attachment, they go ahead and put a delay on it to make sure that the file gets transferred or no. So you can add many, many, many steps to this. All you have to do is add an action. And using any of the tools and platforms on here, you can go ahead and very easily add a step. So I could add a step here, which automatically adds an item to a SharePoint list. So when those emails come in with attachments and I want to log that, all I have to do is add another step. And each one of these steps, when you go ahead and create them, will give you a lot of options. And clicking on the file identifier gives you dynamic content. And again, we can grab any of the stuff that we included right here from emails. I'll just go ahead and show you some of my flows real quick. I'm a really big fan. I'm just going to go ahead and delete this one we created. One of the things I really like doing with forms is with Power Automate is using forms to kick things off. So on this one, I have when a new response is submitted. So I have a continuous improvement reporting mechanism. You can submit a form that says this is the continuous improvement work we did. And to each of those, we grab the list of responses, grab the response details, and then it posts a message to Teams. And I'm able to drop in the content of that form. So I'm collecting the respondent's email, which is automatically collected through Microsoft Forms. What was the challenge? What did they do? When did they do it? And how did they do it? All that information is just dropped in automatically from the form. And if I go back to Microsoft Forms and update the form fields, it'll add that response detail, and I can easily add it in and update it. So that's a very quick rundown on Power Automate, and I hope that's enough to get you started. If you have any questions, it's john.sears@vermont.gov. And good luck and happy automating.